Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, kids. This is bringing back memories for me of when my children were younger, and it's kind of sad that I don't have them that age anymore. But listen, we are here today, and thank you for being here, and thank you for these kids behaving. This is amazing to the extent that it happens. So I should be quick. Look, this is a follow-up on some commitments that this whole community has made for the past several years, and the county really believes in our Invest in Children programs. We know that they work. We know that when it comes time to allocate scarce resources, we have to put those resources to the extent that we can in a child's first 5 years of life. We know that it is not realistic to expect that these kids are going to be able to thrive when they start school if we haven't put the resources they're available to them in their first years of life. And as we said during the State of the County address, we want to be there with our private sector partners because we don't have all of the resources on our own to do that. So that's why I'm particularly pleased that we have two of our fantastic, both corporate and nonprofit partners with us here today, being PNC Bank and also the Gun Foundation. I actually want to turn it over to them if I could start with Paul Clark just to introduce himself and also state the commitment that he is making this morning on behalf of PNC Bank for this very important Invest in Children initiative.
Thanks,
Paul?
Great. Thanks.
I have two sons at home. One is 17, one is 16, and I wish their behavior rivaled that of these children this morning. Thanks, Ed. Before I start, I need to shout out a word of thanks to Leslie Dunn, who's here with us today. Leslie was present at the creation and has done such a great job over the years being a co-chair of Invest in Children. So Leslie, thank you, and we're very grateful. The community is very grateful for all your work. It is a great day because we do have the public-private, not-for-profit partnership, I think, exemplified very, very well, because we all just firmly understand and firmly agree with the importance of early childhood education and how that impacts positively the future of our region. So for us, the health of our children is the health of our economy, and the health of our economy is the health of a bank. It's that simple. We're doing a $300,000 grant today to Starting Point, which is the lead agency for universal pre-K. That'll help it expand a lot of incredible services that they already provide to educators and students and parents and guardians. And they reach already over 1,000 students at 23 different locations. It's a grant that we do as part of our signature philanthropic program, which is called Grow Up Great, which is solely focused on early childhood education. We introduced that program here in Cleveland 2 years ago, and since then we have granted over $2.5 million to this community for great organizations to expand and to develop new programs that reach many of the children through our community. But it goes beyond that. One of the cool things about our Grow Up Great program is that we have 1,300 of our employees here in Cuyahoga County have donated their time and volunteered over 6,000 hours to local preschools and different organizing events like school drives and so forth. And as a result of our Grow Up Great work and our volunteer work, we think we've reached over 23,000 young people in our community and that have been touched. So that's just 2 years into the program. We think there's a lot of great work ahead of us. And we joined Cuyahoga County, we joined the Gun Foundation with a lot of passion with this critical work that we have ahead of us. And a great partner in this work has been the Gun Foundation. And Ed, I'd like to introduce to the audience Kathy Lewis, one of the board chairs for Gun Foundation.
Great. Kathy.
Thank you, County Executive FitzGerald and Paul Clark. The George Gun Foundation is thrilled to join you today in this public-private partnership focused on our future. Before I go on, I would like to share an image with you. I want you to imagine a tree. Branches are filled with apples that aren't ripe yet. If the tree doesn't get the nourishment it needs, the apples don't ripen and they fall off and you can never get them back. This is exactly what happens in a child's brain. The pace of brain development in infants and toddlers is astonishing. By age 5, a child's brain reaches 85% of its adult weight, developing 700 neural synapses every second. And these synapses are the precious connections that help each child learn. By age 3, if the brain does not have these connections, we begin to see the beginnings of a tragic achievement gap. Children of poverty-stricken parents have a vocabulary of about 500 words. Children of parents, college-educated, have a vocabulary of over 1,100 words by age 3. So what does this tell us? This tells us that this is an urgent matter. And it is this sense of urgency, which is shared by our partners here today, that has compelled the Gun Foundation to act. I am proud to announce a grant of $1 million to Cuyahoga County. This is for the Invest in Children initiative, specifically Universal Pre-Kindergarten. We support Universal Pre-Kindergarten because we were fortunate enough to be involved in a pilot program which began in 2008. At that time, the experts in the country were brought in to meet with the Citizens Committee to develop what we wanted to be the gold standard for early childhood education in our community. The results are in. We know that UPK works. The independent evaluation tells us that UPK is that gold standard that we'd hoped for. Children in UPK sites are closing that achievement gap. And most encouragingly, the children with the biggest gaps are making the biggest gains. This proves that every child has the potential to learn, thrive, and potentially productively contribute to our community. These children are our future. A future whose workforce demands employees with complex skills. We must start today to ensure a competitive workforce for tomorrow. With the investments we are making, we have the chance to set Cuyahoga County apart. We are demonstrating that this is a community truly committed to every child, because we understand that every child is our child, yours and mine. Mr. FitzGerald, in your State of the County address, you challenged the private sector and the philanthropic community to join you in this commitment to our county's children. We were listening, and we are happy to be here today to embrace that challenge as your partner.
Great. Okay. All right, 30 more seconds, kids. When they said how many kids were going to be here, I was very skeptical, but I was proven wrong. I just want to say a couple more brief things. Outside my office on the 4th floor of the County Administration Building, the medical mart is being constructed, and every day there's a physical example of our investment in economic development. We have to do the exact same thing for human development. It may not be as startling or as noticeable, but it's just as important. So the children you see behind me and to the left of me here, the investment there, it may not have cranes and construction material, but it's just as important. And we can't have economic development if we don't invest in human development as well. The $1.3 million that you heard about being invested by the corporate community and nonprofit community, I'm telling you right now on behalf of Cuyahoga County, we're going to do everything possible. Even though state support and local support has dwindled in recent years, we're going to do everything we can to match it and actually start reversing that trend. So thank you, and thanks for coming today.